What's happening? So we got Ryan here, yeah?
Yep, that's me.
How old are you, Ryan?
I'm 18. Turned 18 about 4 months ago.
Cool, cool. So you're very young, very
Yeah, I mean,
young. And what
everyone knows that.
campus?
The SMCA, I guess it's called social media now, but joined back when it was the freelancing campus in 2023.
Fantastic, bro. And who is your professor inside that campus?
Professor Dylan Madden, best professor in the entire real world. He's helped me with everything. Best professor by far.
That is a very broad statement. And why is Dylan the best professor?
I think I lost you there for a second. It was buffering a bit.
That's okay, G. So why is Dylan the best professor?
Well, he puts everything in a very, very simple way for you to understand. A lot of other professors, Andrew inside the copywriting campus, he will teach you the same information, but he will put it in a way that's a bit more difficult to understand if you're an absolute beginner. Because a lot of these people coming into the real world are complete degenerates. They're just in school, they're smoking weed, they're staying up all night. They don't really have the bandwidth to understand the things that will actually make the money. So, what I like about Dylan and what he does is he puts it in a very simple way. He says, hey, you just need to go through the course material and you just need to do XYZ. You just need to follow the action steps. It's super simple. I mean, my 4-year-old brother could do it, you know.
Okay. While we're on the subject of Dylan, can you, as Dylan's your professor, could you give me three core principles that Dylan has taught you inside that campus?
The first core principle is test, test, test. You always want to test everything. I see a lot of guys and they're like, oh, yeah, is this going to work? Is this going to work? Maybe I should try this. You've got to test it, bro. You've got to go out there and you've got to send the DM. You've got to post the content. You got to test everything, see if it's going to work. The second principle is just action, following the action steps and not overthinking. It's easy to sit there and overthink, be like, hey, is this going to work? Kind of like the previous point. But in reality, you just have to stop thinking. You just have to get it done. The third
Nice.
point I would say is asking for feedback and building with your fellow students. You can't really do it alone. I've met a few students inside the real world that are making 8K, 9K a month, but they have 300 power level. It's like, bro, how long did that take you? I guarantee it would have taken you half the time if you were talking to your fellow students and asking for feedback.
Mm. Speaking of time, let's move on to time. So how many hours a day do you spend locked inside the real world per day?
To be honest, real world plus business is probably 6 or 7 hours per day. In the beginning, it was like 3 or 4 though, when I was first building everything.
Yeah. And how long did it take you to acquire your first client from joining the campus?
It took me like 3 or 4 months.
Okay. Okay. And how much money have you made from this campus?
I've made $19,600 from this campus ever since joining. It's amazing.
That's fantastic figures, bro. That's fantastic figures.
Thank you.
So
Appreciate it.
are you locked into the $50 or are you paying $100?
Of course, I'm locked into the 50, bro.
Bro, come on. I'd love to see it. I love to see it. Do you know what? I like interviewing those who caught it just in time before it went up. It's good because they're getting double what people are getting basically because
Yeah.
you're getting 100% off. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's good, G. That's good. And you know, so you've got your first client. How did you get your first client inside the campus? What was your method to acquiring your first client inside the campus, mate?
It was just DM outreach. You go on social media, you find people that you want to work with, you interact with them, you like some of their posts, you send them a DM, you warm them up, and then you're like a friend. They're like, hey, I like this guy. He's a real person. He's not a bot. And then from there, you can be like, okay, yeah, we can do this together, free value, and then partnership, money. You know,
So how do you find these people? Who are they?
They're just prospects through Instagram. You go on Instagram and you can do one of a few different things. My favorite method is finding people through comment sections. You go to a viral reel in the niche that you're in, the niche that you help. You go into the comments, and then there are all of those leads right in the comments. An example is if I helped barbershops, I would go to barbershop educators, the people that
Mhm.
teach barbershops. Go to a reel in that niche. I would find those people in the comment section. They're already solution aware. So they already know that something like what I do is a thing. You look at the questions that they have, you look at what they say, You reply to their comment with genuine value. And then once they reply to you, you send them a DM. I used to do a lot of cold DMs in the very, very, very beginning. But the best strategy I found is to make sure that they interact with you and then you talk to them. It increases your response rate by like 200%, 500%. It's insane.
That's brilliant, bro. And what is it you actually do for these clients? What is your specific niche that you do for these clients? What do you do for them?
So mainly it's Google Ads, especially if I'm helping, say, a local business. A lot of these local businesses don't run Google ad keywords in their area, because those people that are looking in their area, they're actively searching. So they're going to be high intent leads, they're going to be good leads. It's mainly
Mm.
Google ads, but I also dabble in meta ads, blogging if they need it. I've done blogging for a few clients. I don't really like to do social media because social media does not immediately result in cash for them. It's very, very hard to get a quick win through social media. So paid content and paid marketing would be the answer to your question.
Nice answers, bro. And how many clients have you got to date?
To date, as in,
Mm.
all the clients I've gotten in the
Like,
past
how many clients have you got running simultaneously at once?
simultaneously, let's see, six right now. I have six.
Very good, very good. And are you charging them the same, or is there different packages that you supply?
Yeah, there are different packages. I usually get on a call with them and then I ask them about what they need, what their biggest problems are. And then I usually set a guarantee or a goal. I don't really like guarantees most of the time, but you set a goal and then you set a price based on that goal. So they're all at different price ranges.
Nice, Ryan. Nice. And how how often do you speak to these clients? Is it every day? Is it every week?
Well, it depends. Sometimes in the beginning, they need a lot more guidance. They need a lot more reassuring that this project is going to work. So in the beginning, you talk to them through Messenger, you talk to them through, WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever you want to use. Get on the phone with them whenever they have questions to build that trust in the beginning. And then usually like once a month, once we really lock in that partnership, you get on a call with them once a month. You talk
Yeah.
to them whenever they need something on Messenger, text, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple.
Nice. And is there any mistakes that you made along the way? What mistakes did you make that you wouldn't perhaps make now along the way?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest mistake is going through half the course material and then trying to implement that instead of going through all of the course material to understand it. In the beginning, I would go through like one module and then I would stop going through that module and then I would go do the thing. It might work for some people, but I mean, if you don't have all the context, if you don't understand why it works, you can't really execute it to its full potential. So if I had to do one thing differently in the very beginning, it would be to go through all of the course material, understand how it works, and then from there you can implement it every single day. Consistency, and paying attention to the course material.
What's the most valuable thing about the real world for you, and why?
The most valuable thing about the real world is community. I mean, every single place that I've gone, it is so hard to find people that are like me. It's impossible. Even when I do find people that are like me, that are ambitious, that are driven, they're almost always lazy. I mean, you meet them, you talk to them, and then you find out, oh, yeah, they've made no money. They work 2 hours a day. And so the real world has helped me meet people that are, on the same path as I am. It's helped me talk to my professors, directly to my professors, so that my progress has just gone through the roof.
Nice. And what has Dylan helped you in terms of your mindset, your work ethic? What's the main things Dylan's helped you with personally?
The main thing that Dylan has helped me with is just overthinking. You know,
Mm.
most of the time, you don't actually need to be intelligent in order to get the work done. I've met a lot of entrepreneurs just like me, a lot of the ones that have made a lot of money. They're not the sharpest tools in the shed. But it's because of that fact that they just get the work done every single day. They don't overthink it. They sit down, do it. It doesn't work. And they're like, oh, yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Someone who's smart, someone who is, thinking all the time, they would say, oh, yeah, this and this and this goes wrong. So maybe I should just try this other thing. But overall, it's just overthinking. Just stop overthinking.
Love that, bro. As you know, the real world has several different campuses, into I think the teens. But which campus? No, what made you decide that you were going to go and join that campus as to other campuses?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if this is still a thing in the real world, but when I joined, there was like a quiz that would pop up that would ask you, do you have more money than time or this and this? And then it would choose the best campus for you. When I joined the real world, I took that quiz, ended up in the freelancing campus, as it was called back then. And I was like, well, might as well try it. This professor knows more than I do.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. How many hours do you spend in the real world? You said when you between the real world and business, it was 6 to 7 hours per day.
Yeah, currently.
So is that so? That's currently.
Yeah. When I first started, it was around 3 or 4 hours a day, just because I had school and a job and all that.
Okay, and what do you think about the system inside the real world in terms of the choosing campus? Do you think the system's good in terms of is it like a video game? Do you like the point system? What do you think about the system inside the real world itself?
Yeah, I mean, I've never seen anything like it. You go inside the real world and it feels like you're playing a video game. It's like boom, power level, boom, tasks, boom, you talk to these guys, you get this done. And the more and more I've progressed on my journey, the less and less real reality seems. I don't know if that's because of the real world, but it almost feels like a video game. Everything I do almost feels like a video game. You just get it done, you rack up the points, you make money, and then you buy cool shit. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Have you made any friends inside your campus? Any personal relationships with like-minded individuals? Like, whether that be on a personal level or a business level, or maybe just simply giving each other advice? Have you met any people inside the campus that are like yourself?
Yeah, I've actually met a ton of people who are exactly like me inside the campus. I like to, build rapport with these guys, provide value to them so that when I need feedback on something, I can just ask them and then, we usually progress a lot faster. I actually met my business partner, not exactly through the real world, but through a different men's growth platform. It was like a Discord server. And then we ended up going on to the real world. And then we started the business together, took on more projects together, split our skills between the two. He was in the copy campus, I was in the freelancing campus. And yeah, I mean, he's still my business partner to this day. Probably the
Yeah,
most valuable connection that I've ever made because of the real world. If it weren't for the real world, I would still be, you know, a broke loser, probably going to some school, working at Walmart like all the guys I went to high school with.
bro, it's a sad situation. Unfortunately, that's where most guys will go. But
Yeah,
it's great if we can save as many as we can, right?
that's what I'm
So
saying.
yeah, it's good to see. It's lovely to see. And you know, what's the main goals for you inside the real world? What's your long term goal inside the real world? What's your plans from now? Because obviously you've got your 6 clients. How do you scale it from here inside your campus? What's next for you?
Long term goal, honestly, I mean, once the hiring chat drops, I'm just gonna find some people to outsource the work to. I mean, expand the team, get people on that know how to do client acquisition. Maybe I could teach them how to do client acquisition, so I can kind of get all that burden off of me, so that I can go more of into a manager position. But in terms of long term, within the next year, I mean, I want to build this into a 100K a year, 500K a year business.
Very good, very good. And how do you manage? Like, how do you think you can outsource the work and keep the quality of the work up? What methods will you use to do that?
That's a good question. I've tried to hire before, and usually these guys are, they're Indian, so they don't really get the work done super well. And so the main thing that I would do, honestly, is just hire out of the real world.
Nice, nice. All right. So you've got a boycott, and you're good to go, basically.
Yeah.
Nice, 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 bro. And are you part of any other campuses, or is it just this campus that you're part of?
I mean, I'm mainly just part of the social media campus. If I need to know something that's very specific to a skill, I'll go into another campus and I'll go through the courses. For instance, a few months ago, I wanted to set up some sort of AI caller for one of my clients. I just
Mhm.
joined the AI automation campus, went through all the courses, built it out, and then, went back to mainly focusing on the social media campus. It's more like a toolbox.
Cool, cool. And what's the 3 best things that Dylan Madden has taught you, bro?
I mean,
I know
number
Dylan very well. I have a very personal relationship with Dylan. probably very much different to yours. But I know Dylan's a very handy guy. I know he knows his stuff. Is there any and it doesn't have to be something big. Is there anything specific he's told you to do that maybe you wouldn't have thought of yourself?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing that he's taught me is to just stop overthinking. You know, I know it's
Okay,
very, very simple. It's not flashy, but you don't need to overthink. You know, the
it's not
number
that
one
it's
thing.
not that simple, bro. For something that sounds so simple, sometimes you need someone to tell you because
Yeah,
maybe that's a hurdle that you couldn't get around yourself, and you needed someone to tell you that in order just to think, all right, yeah, maybe I am overthinking.
yeah,
So,
definitely.
bro, we've all been there. It doesn't matter who you are. Everyone's got their issues. Their problems, not real problems, but there's people are set in their ways, and sometimes you need someone from the outside to tell them, actually, you're overthinking this. Let's do it this way.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good. And what's next for you right now?
Right now, I want to be able to hire people to completely take care of all of the client work that I'm doing.
Mm,
And I'm flying to Mexico on the Yucatan. I'm not going to say exactly where in January. I actually just got back from a flight to Auckland. I mean, it's amazing that I can do all this just because I joined the real world at 18 years old. Next step for me is to just grow the business, keep traveling the world, and keep printing endless money. That's not even real. Just buying cool
brilliant.
stuff with it.
Well, if you're traveling the world, will I be seeing you in the war room?
I hope so. I mean, of course, eventually.
Nice, nice. Listen, bro, thank you for your time, Ryan. You've been brilliant. Your answers have been great. Thanks very much. I hope you have a good day. It's nice to
Yeah,
meet you
you
as
too,
well.
bro. It was great talking to you.
See you soon, bro. Bye, mate.
See you
Bye.
soon.